University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill Board of Trustees. They spoke last night, and we're going to be going through it here on episode 299. But first of all, we're going to be going through the games, the aftermath of Thursday night. Welcome to College Football's Peek Around the Corner with your host, Greg Pflugar. We cover everything in college football because we love everything in college football. And if you do as well, please subscribe to our ever-growing channel. Smash that like button if you like our content. Share the video with your family and friends. Let's not waste any more time. Let's first get through some of these big games last night. Holy smokes. Utah, the number 14th rated team in the country, at home against Florida. This was Florida's first true road game going to an opponent's home football field outside of the state of Florida, a Power 5 opponent, the first true road game in 30 years. And Florida Gators could not get it done. Utah 24, Florida 11. Bryson Barnes got the nod, got the start. Cameron Rising is still trying to recover from an ACL injury from last year. They traded in. They swapped back and forth. Bryson Barnes, QB number 2. Nate Johnson, QB number 3. You saw what Barnes did here. 12 of 18, 159 yards. Nate Johnson, 3 of 4. But Nate Johnson ran the ball 6 times for 45 yards. Bernard only had 45 yards. Both teams' rushing attacks pretty much got shut down. Utah, 30 carries for only 105 yards. We're going to have to keep an eye on Utah's running game here early in the 2023 season. And Florida couldn't get anything going. Holy smokes. 21 carries, 13 yards. Now, Graham Mertz, I've been picking on Graham Mertz all the offseason. He did go 31 of 44. 333 yards, 1 TD, 1 interception. He had a better game than I would projected him to have. First game at Florida quarterback, but he's not the answer. I don't think Billy Napier has the answer here in year 2 in Gainesville, Florida. The fan base, they're going to be turning on him. They already are turning on him. But it's going to get pretty heated down in Gainesville. Napier's going to be in the hot seat midway through the season. Utah got the win that they should have got last year. The big non-conference win against an SEC opponent at home against the Florida Gators. And the other big game last night, the Minnesota Golden Gophers, my beloved Minnesota Golden Gophers, they struggled through most of the game, and you have to give the Nebraska Cornhuskers credit. They are ahead of schedule. First year under Matt Rule, that defense, they were there to make the plays. They were there to hit. The 3-3-5 defensive scheme of the Cornhuskers absolutely confused the Gophers all night long. But as we said during the whole offseason, Jeff Sims is not the guy. And I'm not sure why Matt Rule targeted him in the portal. I think that's a mistake. We said it months ago, and of course we believe it this morning. Jeff Sims, 11 of 19, 114 yards in 3 interceptions. Now, of course, he took the ball and he ran with it, 19 carries, 91 yards, a great athlete. But again, we are all here in the Big Ten, used to Nebraska, having the quarterback be RB1, having him run around, not being able to complete passes downfield. It is the exact same offense as Nebraska's been running for 5 to 6 years, and it's not going to get done in Big Ten play. Again, Gabe Ervin, 7 carries, 55 yards. Anthony Grant got 9 carries, 27 yards. Why was he in at the end of the game? Why did Anthony Grant get the ball with 4 minutes to go, and he's been having fumbling issues in practice? That's why he's not RB number 1. And they gave him the ball. They gave him the rock. As Nebraska, all they had to do was burn down the clock to win the game. They're up 10-3. And again, Anthony Grant fumbled the ball as Justin Wally punched it out. And Minnesota was able to score a touchdown to tie the game. 4th down pass. Ethan Kaliakmanis to Danielle Jackson. Let's look at Minnesota. Ethan, the Greek rifle, 24 of 44, 196 yards, a TD interception. You all saw the skill level that the young man has. Now remember, Ethan hasn't played a fifth of the games, a tenth of the games, the tenth of the snaps as Jeff Sims has in his career. This is Ethan Kaliakmanis. Now, finally getting the start at the season, start of the season, and he is full of promise. He's still a wild stallion, but he is absolutely full of promise. But the Minnesota Golden Gophers, being able to play bully ball, being able to run the ball down the opposing team's throats, that's not going to happen here in 2023, and they have to recognize it. Sean Tyler, the transfer running back from Western Michigan, 10 carries, 41 yards. Bryce Williams, 6 carries, 14 yards. 25 team carries for only 55 yards for the Gophers. This is not the same Gopher team of the first 6 years of PJ Fleck, and they have to realize it, and they got to sling it here in 2023. Danielle Jackson, the great Danielle Jackson, 9 catches, 68 yards. Corey Crooms, the transfer wide receiver from Western Michigan, 7 catches, 63 yards. And the great tight end, Brevin Spanford, 5 for 45. It was a close game. It was decided in the last seconds. Walk-off, field goal, and the Gophers survived and defeat Nebraska 13-10. Now, let's take a look at the story that was breaking last night while we were doing a watch party of Minnesota versus Nebraska. The ACC meeting, according to Stuart Mandel and Nicole Auerbach, this was put out late last night from the Athletic. ACC meeting on Stanford, Cal, SMU, rescheduled for Friday, sources say. This morning, ladies and gentlemen, this morning, ACC presidents will meet Friday to discuss and potentially vote on the additions of Cal, Stanford, and SMU. 2 league sources and 1 industry source told the Athletic on Thursday. The conference had postponed a planned meeting early in the week following Monday's fatal shooting of a professor on North Carolina's campus. The ACC has been discussing potential expansion since shortly after the Pac-12 lost 6 of its 10 remaining members in late July and early August, putting that conference future in jeopardy. The ACC needed 12 of the 15 members to support expansion, but a straw poll taken in mid-August came up 1 vote short, with Florida State, Clemson, North Carolina, and North Carolina State opposed to ACC expansion. Now, here is the PATC money shot of the article. In an unexpected twist, last night, the chair and vice chair of the UNC Chapel Hill Board of Trustees issued a statement saying that the strong majority of the board opposed expansion. And this is what they said. Although we respect the academic excellence and the athletic programs of those institutions, be it California, Stanford, and SMU, the travel distance for routine in-conference competitive play are too great for this arrangement to make sense for our student athletes, coaches, alumni, and fans, the statement said. Furthermore, the economics of this newly imagined transcontinental conference do not sufficiently address the income disparity ACC members face. Without ironclad assurances that the proposed expansion serves the interests of UNC Chapel Hill, we believe it should be voted down. Now, I'm going to go through one part here once again. Furthermore, the economics of this newly imagined transcontinental conference do not sufficiently address the income disparity ACC members face. The income disparity between the ACC versus the Big Ten and the SEC institutions, their athletic programs, their athletic departments. UNC is voting no. And if UNC is voting no, North Carolina State's got to be voting no. And if North Carolina State and North Carolina are voting no, then Clemson and Florida State have to be voting no this morning as well. But there is this part where I'm struggling with. Why does this statement come out last night on a Thursday night? If it was if North Carolina felt that there was at least 4 sure no votes, why put this out last night? To me, you would only put it out if you were unsure of the 4 no votes. So either way, man, this is a story that we are going to be covering this very morning here. It is 7 o'clock this morning. This episode is going to be released here shortly, and we should be having news in the next couple hours. So stick with us here at Peek Around the Corner as we cover the ACC expansion. Yes or no, we should get our answer today. A lot of drama going on in ACC. A lot of drama going on in California, Stanford, and SMU. This is the last shot, probably the last shot for SMU to climb over the wall and get to a Power 5 conference. And if the ACC expansion doesn't happen today, what does California Stanford do next? Do they try to rebuild the Pac-4 back into the Pac-8 for the 2024 season? Or does California Stanford go into the Mountain West of the ACC? Or does Stanford try to go independence? So many questions. We have no answers. Stick with us here at Peek Around the Corner as we follow this story. And Friday night football, Saturday, we're going to be doing more watch parties. So stick with us here until next time. From all of us at PATC to all of you, please, you all take great care of each other. Thank you so very much.